Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Melbourne Convention Bureau webinar. We'll start shortly. We'll just allow a few more minutes for everybody to join in and then we'll get going. Good afternoon all and welcome to the MCB webinar. We're just going to wait a few more minutes for everybody to who has registered to join us today, and then we'll get going. Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the Melbourne Convention Bureau's webinar for November for event organisers. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and it's great to see Melbourne coming back to life as we start to open up and welcome visitors back into our great city. My name is Joanna. I am the Director of Corporate Meetings and Incentives at Melbourne Convention Bureau, and it's great to be hosting you today on this webinar. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge that I am hosting this webinar from the land of the Wurundjeri people and extend that knowledge to the traditional custodians of the various lands that you are joining us from today. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters of Victoria. So today we have two fantastic partners joining us to present to you. We have Shane and Sarah from the Pan Pacific Melbourne. They've got fantastic views out their windows today, so I'm sure they'll be very keen to show you that. And we've also got Angela from Visit Mornington Peninsula, a place that I'm sure will be very popular as we go into summer holidays and into 2022. So a great place for regional meetings and also incentives, team gatherings, team building opportunities, etc. If you do have any questions, please just pop them into the Q&A box below and we will answer them at the end. If you have any tech issues, also just pop a question in there and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Just a reminder that Melbourne Convention Bureau is here to help you. So if you do have any questions or need any support regarding anything to do with business events, whether that be venue suggestions, itinerary suggestions, anything to do with hosting an event in Melbourne, please get in contact. Please email us at info@melbournecb.com.au and we'll be more than happy to help you deliver a great event in Melbourne. So we can kick off then with Pan Pacific. So Shane and Sarah, if you'd like to share your screen and we can get going.
Sure. Bear with me here for a moment.
Perfect.
All right. How's that? Excellent.
Yep,
Thanks.
wonderful.
Thanks, Joe, for the introduction. So as you mentioned, my name's Shane Bolton. I'm the Associate Director of Sales, and I'm joined by Sarah Hegarty, Business Development Manager. So I guess we wanted to announce that we're very excited to announce that Pan Pacific Melbourne, we're now open and taking bookings, but it's been closed since March 2020. So Pan Pacific Melbourne is part of the Pan Pacific Hotels Group, which operates over 50 hotels globally, with 6 properties in Australia under the Park Royal and Pan Pacific brands. So what we want to try and do is showcase our hotel by taking you through an example, or I guess a journey of what an event planner or a delegate would experience when staying and utilising the hotel. So to begin with, we're going to start with a short video to give you an idea and set the scene of the Pan Pacific Hotel. Amazing, love that video. So obviously it's very relevant and would be remiss of us not to mention in today's current climate is of health and safety being I guess on everyone's mind. So with that in mind, we've Pan Pacific Hotels Group has implemented our Pan Pacific Cares Clean Stay and Sustainability Program. Obviously I can talk through all of the I guess facets of that, but if you scan the QR code, you'll be taken to the Pan Pacific Cares page. And you can look at the, I guess, the initiatives we're doing in terms of enhanced cleaning and safety measures in guest rooms, meeting spaces and F&B. An example of that is the door hangers that we have on each of the accommodation room doors indicate that the room's been cleaned. And since the cleaning, no one else has entered the room. And in terms of meeting, I guess, changes to policies in terms of relating to force majeure and COVID cancellation policies as well. So check that one out. So starting at the start, best place to start. So obviously when you inquire at Pan Pacific Melbourne, you'll be allocated a dedicated end-to-end events manager to talk through our day delegate packages, offers and things that we have available. In terms of your audio visual requirements, we have Encore, who's our on-site AV provider who can do everything with end-to-end hybrid meeting capabilities, which are, I guess, in high demand at the moment, and talking through the contracts in terms of customised catering. Our chefs are always happy to look at what they can do to keep your clients happy and within budget. So getting to the hotel. As the video kind of demonstrated, we're located on the South Wharf precinct, directly connected to the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. The access from the airport is 24 kilometres from the airport. We've got secure undercover parking at DFO just across the way, and coach parking bays, easy access to public transport. Can't really see from there, but Southern Cross Station's just across the river, and easy access to trams. And you can actually walk directly from within the hotel straight through the convention centre all the way to what street would you call that? near the access, near the Crown Entertainment Complex. So when you check in, so as you enter the doors from the across from the convention centre, you're greeted by the immersive interior of the hotel lobby. So the hotel is actually designed to, I guess it's inspired by the maritime history of the area. So you've got Polly Woodside and the dock area. So the interior of the lobby is designed to represent an upturned ship. So you've got your crab pots there and the coral artwork, which is a bit divisive at the behind reception there. And also within the hotel lobby is changes quite often. So we've had a number of exhibitions. One of note is the Hidden Faces exhibition, which is the entries into the Archibald Prizes, and the curator of that also hosts an exhibition called Marvellous Melbourne, which has, I guess, representations of Melbourne in various medium as well. So as you come through the doors, you're greeted by our concierge team, two of whom are part of the Le Clador, and greeted by your events manager, who will run you through your event. If you're part of a group, you also have a dedicated groups desk for group check-in, which is just to the left of reception there. And then you can also set up registration desks in the lobby, signage. We can do gobos with projected images of logos and things like that. And then you've got the business centre just off to the left there in the lounge area. So once you check in, you can come and discover your room. You might be lucky enough to have Sarah in your room there, but probably not in all. So we've got the amazing floor-to-ceiling windows. It's probably the most striking feature of all of our accommodation rooms. All rooms have blackout blinds, USB power points next to the beds, unrestricted views all the way around the hotel. And this is you can't really see it there, but the TVs have been updated as well to 50-inch smart TVs with streaming capabilities. So I guess one of the key features of the hotel being connected to the convention centre is our, I guess, compatibility for tiered accommodation blocks. So 86% of the hotel inventory is in this format, so those 38 square metre rooms, with 223 of those being in king format and 91 of them being either twin or triple, with the spacious bathrooms in each, and every single room has a separate bath and shower as well. So suitable for a wide range of delegate needs, from organisers, keynote speakers, VIPs. We've got 30 suites. This one is the Yarra suite, which is obviously facing the Yarra. And if you're lucky enough to be treated to these beautiful views, we also have our panoramic suite, which, as the name suggests, has panoramic views of the city and the Docklands area. We do have 24 two-bedroom suites as well. We don't have any updated photos of these, but we're in one now, and you can see the views are pretty good. So Sarah will take you through day one.
So day one, after you've settled into your accommodation room, delegates are more than welcome to head down to Cafe All, which is located on our ground floor. Here it's a great little relaxing spot that you can pick up a coffee or a snack before you start your busy day. This venue is open for breakfast and lunch, or the alternative is our Dock 37 kitchen and bar, as well is open for breakfast. You can have buffet or a la carte available for you, as well as dinner. Once you've had your breakfast, Shane previously mentioned that we are connected to the convention centre. So any delegates entering from the lobby will just need to head up through those stairs through level 1. If you're coming down from your guest rooms, you will just need to exit level 1, and where that picture is where that connection is. So fantastic for anyone. They're not going to lose any of your delegates, as well as any keynote speakers if they need to make a quick getaway. That's that great quick access point. The alternative is we are also connected right across the opposite of the hotel. So if they need to walk outside, you're more than welcome to access that. And then while everyone's off site, we are busily working behind the scenes in preparation for your return. Once you've had your conference, we welcome you back to the hotel here at our Dock 37 bar. Great spot for you to catch up at our bar. This can be an open space. It can also be a private area that we can close off. Most common is towards the back end of the bar, which can be cordoned off for private functions, or it can also be just under the gantry, which houses over 200 varieties of wine at the hotel. Once you've had a catch up with all the drinks and canapes, you're more than welcome to then proceed through to our pre-function area. This is sometimes also served as the pre-function and the catch up area for pre-dinner drinks. It's also great for any breakout spaces. Again, it can be used as registration. It can also be used for event signage. It's also a great chance for you to be immersed in their cooking experience that our chefs can have on offer once they use our open firewood pizza ovens. Once you proceed through, this is our Woodside rooms 1 through to 4. So at full capacity, we can accommodate anything up to 150 cabaret style for a dinner. For a cocktail event, we can house up to 200 delegates. Great features of our function rooms is to the floor to ceiling windows, so great natural light, high ceilings for any decorations or I guess for extra AV. We also have remote control blockout blinds as well as sheer privacy curtains. Again, Encore being our on-site AV tech on site. They can also have drop-down screens as well as programmable lighting as well. Another alternative is then we can proceed to head out to the terrace. So this is actually connecting to the Woodside space. Here you can have your dessert. This is also where you can potentially have some networking. We've had a lot of conferences here have networking events, a trade show out here as well, or catering stations, barbecues, you name it, we are happy to accommodate where possible.
Moving on to day 2. So hopefully you haven't had too many drinks at the function day 1, but waking up on day 2, you start your day in our spacious gym, work out on all the modern fitness equipment, which is complimentary for all in-house guests. Otherwise, you can take a stroll along the Yarra. Recommended, I guess, walking path along there is past the MCEC and across through South Bank and all the way through Birrarung Ma. It's probably about an hour's walk. But it's a great way to discover Melbourne. If you're lucky enough to have lounge access, you can start your day with breakfast up in the lounge, or you can also have breakfast down in Dock 37. Just note the lounge actually isn't open at the moment. It will be opening pending occupancy, but I hope to have it open again back in 2022. So continuing on to your in-house conference, as Sarah mentioned, quite versatile event space. So one of the Woodside rooms, Woodside room 3 there is been blocked off by our operable walls. We've got really great versatile setup options. So for example, a room there, Woodside 2, with the opening out onto the terrace for your breakout space. A possible Woodside room 1, which is great for privacy for your meetings that have, I guess, sensitive materials such as pharmaceutical and things like that. And that room actually opens out onto the restaurant for bumping in of large items, which is quite handy. So while that's happening downstairs, your executive board can be meeting up in the river room, which has natural light, as you can see, coming through, and the concealable screen there and the comfortable Herman Miller chairs. And of course, while all this is happening, the organising committee needs a place to meet as well. So the boardroom downstairs is opposite the Woodside rooms, and it's great as a secretariat office, event planner space, or small meetings and presentations. So this was actually built as a private dining room and has been converted into a meeting space. So all the AVs included in there too. So once you've finished day 2, it's time to unwind. Hopefully you finish early. You can get out and enjoy a boat trip on the Yarra with our friends down at Melbourne Water Taxis, or which you can take directly from behind the hotel all the way through to Melbourne Park for the tennis or the MCG, and it goes as far as Flemington Racecourse, which is great. You can dine at any of the 15 restaurants and bars in the South Wharf precinct, ranging from Thai, German, Japanese, grab a beer and burger. If you plan ahead, you can take in a show at the convention centre, such as Loom, which is the multi-sensory immersive exhibition happening currently. You can get everything you need at DFO and go on a shopping spree, and then or just walk across the river to the CBD. And of course, you can always just relax in your room and take in the amazing views.
So let us help create your journey today. So we currently have a special meetings offer available for meaningful meetings, valid through from the 1st of November through to the 28th of February 2022. However, we have an early bird special. So if you book before the end of December 2021 this year, we're extending the validity actually for meetings booked and held before the end of June 2022, as well as we have a barista upgrade option. So if you quote barista with our event planner here today, you will receive that barista upgrade with us. So give us a call or simply scan that QR code for more information.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's great. Just we do have a question that we might just pop in just before we move on to the Mornington Peninsula.
Sure.
From Peter, is the club lounge restricted to a particular room type, or is it available as a buy-in from any room type?
Well, both, to be honest. So you can, if you're in a Pacific Club Lounge room, then it's included, as well as in the suites. So any of the Yarra Suite or Panoramic Suite. But you can access the Club Lounge downstairs at reception as well at a cost.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shane. All right. Angela, if you'd like to share your screen and get going, that would be great.
I'll just share my screen.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Thank you. And I was really pleased to be invited along today, especially following on from Pan Pac, one of my favourite Melbourne hotels, best views out of the rooms everywhere. So, but I'm here today to talk about Mornington Peninsula. As they introduced me, Angela Cleland, I'm the Chief Executive of the Mornington Peninsula Regional Tourism Board, which also encompasses Mornington Peninsula business events. We're an ideal location for your event, or alternatively as pre and post touring for your guests if you're out of Melbourne. Okay, so location, we think that the location can make an event, and we're only an hour from Melbourne. And as you can see on the map, either coming via Eastlink, which if you were to have your event at Pan Pacific, you could jump straight on the freeway and be down to the Mornington Peninsula within an hour. And you wouldn't actually need to pass through a traffic light. You could also come from the other side of the bay via Sea Road ferries from Queenscliff, or alternatively coming down the Nepean Highway. So quite a few ways to actually get to the Mornington Peninsula, and it's actually quite quick. We think that your guests will actually appreciate being here more than actually journeying here, so they'll get time to unwind, relax, and discover more about the region. About the region itself, we've got 190 kilometres Victoria's coastline on our doorstep. We're the only place in Victoria where you can see the sunrise over one bay, being Western Port, and set over another bay, being Port Phillip. We have 18 golf courses, of which 5 are in the top 100. And I think we're number 3 or 5 for St Andrews Beach Golf Course, voted the number 1 in Victoria last year. We have 30 villages that are out there to discover, from Mornington to Rye over to Flinders, each with their own unique offering. We have 9 chef-hatted restaurants, and we have the only restaurant in Australia where you pass through a hatted restaurant to get to a 2-hatted restaurant, and that's out at Point Leo. We have accommodation from 5-star luxury right through to glamping and camping. Breweries we've seen pop up everywhere over the last 5 years, and we've got 17 craft breweries, 5 distilleries and 3 cider houses. What's really great about these are award-winning businesses that have been recognised for the quality of their produce. And when you go and visit those businesses, they develop, produce, and come up with the recipes, and everything is made down here. We also have 50 cellar doors across 260 wineries. So there's definitely a lot of choice across that. We have a national park, probably one of the most historical and significant parks down in Point Nepean down the end. And reserves including access to Port Phillip and Western Port. Our service, so business events Mornington Peninsula, we're the local team on the ground. So if you were to bring your event down here or wanted pre and post touring, we're a free service, so we give impartial insights. We're not connected to any venue across the Mornington Peninsula, but we work with about 650 businesses, and I'm not going to run you through all of those today, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to run you through a number of them. We can do anything from proposals to a simple date and rate check, to multi-venue, multi-day events that's both indoors and outdoors. So just to run you through some of our venues, we have Carmel at Sorrento. Carmel at Sorrento is in the heart of the main street in Sorrento. They've got 2 conference spaces, which fits about 50 people in their maximum capacity. They have 7 fully appointed 3-bedroom luxury apartments, as well as a number of other apartments to actually cater for you. It is most definitely a beautiful property, and that is actually the penthouse villa that I've actually shown you there. Lansmore Lindisberry, definitely one of my favourite venues down here. I think it's the quintessential Mornington Peninsula experience in some regards. It's up in the hinterland. It is a winery itself. They have beautiful luxury gardens. They've got 4 spaces within their venue, from 4 to 220 delegates. It is a 5-star rating property, and they have accommodation for 40 guest rooms. Quite often we have seen buyouts of this property, and the feedback that we get has been amazing. Flinders Hotel, 4.5 stars, 40 rooms, delegates from 2 to 120. The one thing about this, they also own Georgie Bass Cookery, which is across the road. So you can see in the top left-hand corner there is actually Flinders showing quarters, but directly across the road is a cooking school, and they can do up to about 8 or 9 in that. So if you think about incentives where you're actually going out to different places, this could be an option for you. Jackalope, let's talk luxury. This is luxury non-stop from the moment you arrive, from their service to have, the eating and drinking that you can do on site. They have a number of spaces, but their conference space is best for about 29 to 100 people. It's a 5-star rating property. If there was 6 and 7 and 8 stars, it would definitely be this property. They have 45 rooms, and as I said, very luxurious. What's great about this space is they also have a more casual space called Rare Hair, which is where their salad is, and you can even get great meals and relaxing spaces over there. Portsea Village Resort, anywhere from 10 to 130, right in the heart of Portsea. You can walk across the road and you're at Millionaire's Walk, which takes you along all past the Millionaire properties, and it's about a kilometre walk in front of that. You've also got Portsea Hotel, historical site, which has major beer gardens and that across the road. It's a 4-star rating hotel. They have 43 apartments with 88 beds included, so it's always a great option to stay with them as well. Peppers Moona Links, anywhere from 6 to 240 capacity. They have 10 different spaces. They're a 4-star rating golf courses. They've got 2 of them if you like to play golf. They're also centred in Fingal, which is right near the Peninsula Hot Springs, also St Andrews Beach Brewery. So there's quite a number of properties around here. And their capacity for cocktail functions is up to $300. It is most definitely a beautiful outlook. And they've got some unique spaces where your conference space is actually connected to your rooms or not far from it. RACV Cape Shank, definitely a jewel in our crown. 5-star, 10 to 450 capacity. They've got 204 rooms and multiple eating spaces. They have golf, they have spa, they have everything that you would need right here, and also not far from Fingal and a number of other attractions, as well as the Cape Shank Lighthouse, which is an historical point and a great walk if anyone is feeling the urge to go out and do some exercise. Point Leo Estate, beautiful. You can see the aerial shot there. They've got a 19-acre sculpture park with about $700 million worth of sculpture art on display. Definitely one of the leading parks in Australia. The capacity that they have is for 110 people. Anywhere from, they've got a wine terrace, which is a little bit more relaxed than what you would probably think at Point Leo. It's got indoor-outdoor space. There's the restaurant, which is 1-star. And then there's Laura, which is the 2-star restaurant. And they've just won an award for their wine list. Hotel Sorrento, definitely an icon of the Mornington Peninsula. 8 to 180 capacity, 4-star. They do have accommodation on site, and they've just recently, well, they're actually undertaking a renovation, which will shortly be finished. Their place is absolutely beautiful, the old sandstone and everything else. They are in the heart of Sorrento, high up on the hill, walking distance back to the village. So incentives, it's more than conferencing down here. We have other things like Enchanted Adventure. It's a park with mazes, tree surfing, zip lining. They have a private marquee up there, which can fit 150 capacity, and they're used to taking large groups, both corporate and school groups. So they're well versed to actually manage that. I particularly like the tube ride. It's a bit of fun and definitely great to get out there with your teams. Moonraker Dolphin Swims is one of our, we've got 3 actual dolphin swimming businesses on the Mornington Peninsula. You actually have to be specifically licensed to conduct these swims. Moonraker themselves have a capacity for 80 people. And what you would do is you would go out snorkeling or swimming with the dolphins. The dolphins of the Mornington Peninsula are called the Bunrun dolphins, and they are quite a rare pod. They're only found here and in Gippsland. We've got about 120 of them swimming in the bay. And I can tell you as a local, I've seen them multiple times. They come swimming up to the boat. They're popping up everywhere. They're quite active. The other picture there you can see is what we call Chinaman's Hut, and that is the seals actually live out there, and they're definitely guaranteed to see them on a trip. Moonraker Dolphin Swims, you can go out as groups, you can go snorkeling, they have luxury charter, you can go swimming. And the great thing is that they can do it for all ages and all abilities. They have just been awarded a 20-year Ecotourism Award. That's how long they've been doing this, and they've made the Hall of Fame. Peninsula Hot Springs, definitely a definite attraction and something that shouldn't be missed on the Mornington Peninsula. They have the ability to do events for up to 200 people. In the top left-hand corner, you can actually see that's the amphitheatre, and they've had concerts, and they will have be announcing shortly a series in there, so you can bathe and watch the concert while you're bathing. It's a beautiful space. And then the other side is the Hilltop Pool. There were 70 bathing experiences, and if you're fortunate enough to watch the Today Show last week, we beamed in live from there, which actually showed the ice cave and the ice dive and the sauna. So that was one. They've also last year opened up 10 glamping tents as part of their accommodation offering. And once we rebuild and reopen again, they will be a 24-hour venue. Red Gun Barbecue, something a little bit different, a little bit casual. They have a private dining space, but it's great for communal dining, not diving. But you can dive right into the southern hospitality that they actually have. Their overall space fits about 200 people, but they do have private dining room, which fits about 20. But a nice, really casual space and something a little bit different. Montalto in Red Hill. Montalto is part of the Ultimate Winery Experience. Beautiful property. They have the piazza as well as the fine dining area, which you can see on the right-hand side, and the piazza's on the left-hand side. They were one of the first to develop a kitchen garden, so you really are getting that paddock to plate experience when you visit Montalto. Additionally, there is also a sculpture walk that they actually have over here, and you can actually take that, and they announce a sculpture prize every year in about January, February. Jimmy Rum Distillery, a new distillery on the Mornington Peninsula. What I love about this venue, that's James, the head distiller that you can see there, and the owner and founder. You can actually go and do a distillery experience for the day with James himself, and he'll take you through the distilling process and how it all works. It is a great and unique experience for your guests or your delegates as part of your incentive program. St Andrews Beach Brewery. This is an amazing property. And as you can see on the right-hand side, it's got Maccabi Diva. This property was actually owned by the Friedman brothers. And in 2006, they were the leading horse property in the world for the number of winners that they produced out of here. Many Melbourne Cup winners came from this property. And what they actually did is they converted the property into a brewery. And you have the chance to hire the private stall spaces. And as you can see, that was the stall that actually Maccabi Diva was in. And one of their beers is actually called Box 54, which is that particular stall there. They've got an enormous amount of space out there, and the property itself, the racetrack that they had built there, has actually been converted into an apple orchard. And now they're also producing cider on site. So you've got craft beers, and also apple cider. Bass and Flinders. Bass and Flinders have been around for a number of years. They are definitely a place that you should come and visit. As you can see on the right-hand side, you can actually go there and learn how to make your own gin. And the beautiful thing about this is that when you go and do that, or your group goes and does that, they will actually create your recipe, and they will keep it on file, and you can keep reordering it whenever you want it, and they'll remake it and send it down to you. They use lots of local botanicals to create the flavours within their gin. Last year, they did a heartbreak gin. So the Mornington Peninsula is a cool climate region, is well known for our Pinot Noir and also our Chardonnay. But the heartbreak gin is after the grape, the Pinot grape, because it's so hard to grow because it's got such a thin skin. And they created a Pinot gin, which was definitely worth, if it comes up again, make sure you get your hands on some. So you can do classes there, and it's also got a cocktail bar attached to it. Chief Sun Distillery. Chief Sun Distillery is a whiskey place in Somerville that we actually have down here. And as you can see there is Stuart, the chief founder and whiskey maker out there. They have been winning luxury awards since they opened. World recognised for their whiskey. Taking a tour through the distillery itself is a pretty amazing experience. And what I love about them is their backstory. So Stuart was actually in the army, and he entered a competition for 25 words or less why he should be sent overseas to go and visit whiskey distilleries in Scotland. He actually won, and then decided that he was going to open up a distillery, and that's exactly what he did. Stuart's last name is McIntosh, and McIntosh converted his Chief Sun. So quite an interesting backstory, and definitely an entertaining way to go and taste some of the best whiskey we produce in Australia. So a couple of new openings, and I don't have a lot of details for you because they are coming in 2022. So I've just got a bit of a up there to go through. So Elba Thermal Springs and Spa is opening down in Fingal in 2022. It will be a new luxury hot springs in Fingal, where all the hot springs actually come from. So they'll be opening up down there, so keep your eye out for that. And also well anticipated coming up in 2022 is the Continental Sorrento. I grew up down in Mornington, and the Hotel Continental has been an icon. I think it's been since 1795. So it's long anticipated renovation and reopening will be there. The Intercontinental will be looking after the accommodation, and the Kick-On group will also be looking after all the food and beverage and event spaces. We'll be sure to let MCB know so they can communicate to you when we know all the ins and outs and details and opening dates, so that you can ask any questions and have a look at those. But they're definitely properties to keep an eye out for. That's all I had to share with you today. There's obviously a lot more experiences that you can experience on the Mornington Peninsula. There are my contact details should you wish to get in contact. But thank you very much for having me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And what an amazing presentation. So many things to do. We're so lucky to have that on our doorstep. So now we'll just jump to questions. If anyone has any questions, please just pop them into the box below. I know we already do have one for Ange.
Yep.
What is the recommended season for dolphin swims?
They are open from November right through to just after Easter. If you're saying to me, when would I go? I would definitely go autumn. If you're coming to the Mornington Peninsula, I know everyone loves summer, but I surveyed all of our 650 operators and thought I would get a great content plan on which season to visit us in. And just about every person came back and said autumn is the best season on the Mornington Peninsula. So that's when I would do it. All
right, fantastic. Thank you. Any other questions, just pop them into the box. We don't have any at the moment, so I'll just wait a few more minutes. We will have this recording available post the webinar, so we will send that out along with the presentations that you have seen today. So you can go back and watch. No other questions. So you guys have obviously done a very good job today, which is fantastic. All right, then, looks like that is all done. Thank you so much for participating today. Really appreciate your support. We will have another webinar, one more before the end of the year, just in the second week of December. So watch out for that invite, and that will be a good one because we'll try and do a bit of a wrap up of the year and also provide some key information as we look forward to 2022. Apart from that, have a great afternoon and we'll see you on our next webinar.